slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last term we were discussing about the wall characteristics. That is basically depending upon the fraction, you can say depending on the flow rate and what is the lift in the stem position. The nature of the lifting in the stem position and how much flow rate is allowed. Based on this, we have basically the three type of characteristics. Even we have almost five type. I will tell you later. Generally, the three types these are common, and that is known as a linear, that is a equal percentage, and the square root wall. So we have these are very common in the practical point of view. So as we know the graph, if we plot a graph between fraction of the maximum flow and the fraction of the maximum lift, so means what is a lift and divide by what is the maximum lift. Maximum lift means that is based on the fully open to fully closed. And wall the lift or stem position vary from fully open to fully closed, that is known as the maximum. Similarly, based on this, we have a maximum flow. So fraction with respect to the maximum flow, right? So we have the linear, means when we have a linear change, we have the increased sensitivity or equal percentage. It means that is basically given by this. And as we seen also that the sensitivity we define in terms of the slope. So increased sensitivity means the slope will continuously increase. Here also in the third case, when the slopes is continuously decreasing, we call this as decreasing sensitivity, or we can also name as square root wall. So as we discussed that generally the flow rate is a function of the wall stem position and the input output pressure of the upstream and downstream, or you can say the pressure drop. So generally when we perform the experiment, we keep this term constant in the upstream and downstream pressure. So we have only you can say the flow rate is a function of the stem position. So Q is a function of stem position, and where fraction, basically when we define the flow rate in terms of fraction, that is Q by Qx, right? And similarly X equal to L upon L max. So that is the stem position change. So fraction of the maximum lift, and F is the fraction of the maximum flow. So Qx is the maximum flow. So based on this, we can say that the Q, that is basically flow rate. If we substitute here, you can say F, whatever the function of X, that is basically L upon Lx. And this is basically related to the Q upon Qx. So when we have a, you can say the linear or the equal percentage, so we have the relation like this, right? So Fx, that basically we define as Q by Qx max. So similarly, we define the sensitivity. Sensitivity means this is a slope. So we have the decreasing sensitivity means slope is continuously decreasing, and in linear means slope is constant, and increasing sensitivity means slope is increasing. So based on this, we define the sensitivity. So you can say the wall characteristic curve can be obtained experimentally for any wall by measuring the flow through the wall as a function of the lift. Means wall top pressure under the condition of the constant upstream and downstream pressure. So basically we keep this variable, pressure variable, constant. So means we are keeping the upstream and downstream pressure constant, and now we are only looking for the variable flow rate versus stem position change. The two type of wall that are widely used, that is linear wall or equal percentage wall. in the industry's point of view. So the first one is a linear wall. So linear wall we define as a the linear wall one which sensitivity is constant and the relation is given between the flow and the lift is linear. So means the slope is constant, means df by dx is equal to some constant, let's say alpha. So if you integrate this from 0 to 1, we can say df is equal to alpha dx 0 to 1. So we have you can say we are basically this is a fractions. Fraction means that's why it is converted in terms of fraction. So we can make this limit from 0 to 1. Maximum value that can fraction maximum value can be go to 1, minimum value as a 0. So similarly here for x also. So when you substitute this, you will get alpha equal to 1. So alpha equal to 1 means you have the df by f as a function. This is x. So this is basically the linear relation. So that's why we call this as a linear relation. So now the second one is the equal percentage wall. Equal percentage wall means you can say we define the sensitivity as a beta f. So b beta is a constant, and integration of the equation, if you integrate this, it will give you some of this form, ln f by f naught equal to beta x. So if you simplify this expression, you will get x equal to 0. This is f naught. So we can put as a constant, this is f naught, and we define this f naught as a x equal to 0. We have f equal to f naught. X equal to 0 means there is a almost you can say the closed position. Closed position means the stem is at the 0 point. So closed position. So but even though we are defining the flow is not 0, f is not 0. So it means we are giving the condition that there is some leakage. Some leakage means you can say this is a even a design mistake or something, but this leakage is considered in a practical ground. So that's why we put this condition. Otherwise, it can be infinite. If you put x equal to 0, alpha f equal to 0, so beta will be some kind of 0 or that value. So to avoid this, we can give some constant, that is f naught. So it will solve this. Otherwise, it will be beta will be infinite. So as you can see mathematically, the beta, if you put let's say x equal to 1, f equal to 1. So f equal to 1, x equal to 1. So beta will be ln 1 upon f naught. Ln 1 upon f naught. If you substitute this, so f equal to f naught e to power x ln 1 upon f naught. So mathematically we can simplify this, and it will be you can say x, you can take this 1 upon f naught to power x, right? So it will be 1 upon f to power x means f to power minus x, right? So e of ln means this will cancel out, so we have only f naught e to power minus x, or we can write this as f naught 1 minus x. So f is basically equal to alpha to power x minus 1. So this is known as the equal percentage wall, right? So equal percentage wall where alpha equal to, you can say 1 upon f, right? So this shows that the plot f versus x on a semi-log coordinate give the straight line. So when we shown that this graph is equal percentage means this one, but if you plot this on a semi-log plot, this will also a straight line. Mathematically, this will be straight line. So a convenient way to determine if a wall is of the equal percentage type is a plot of the flow versus lift on a semi-log coordinate. So in semi-log, it will give you a straight line. The basis for calling a wall characteristic equal to percentage can be seen by rearranging in the form. So means as we defined df by dx equal to beta beta into f. So means if you rearrange this function mathematically like df upon f, you can see as we define this one, df by dx equal to alpha. In a equal percentage, we have df by dx equal to beta times alpha. So beta same f. So what we do, you can take this df upon f and beta into dx. So df upon f, this is equal to beta into dx. So df we can write as a delta f, because we are talking in terms of equal percentage. So delta f, and here we can write as a delta x. So we have this form of mathematical expression, right? So in this form, you can say, now in this form, it can be seen that the equal fraction or percentage change in the flow, that is delta f upon f, occurs for a specified increment in the change in the stem position, that is x. So regardless of where the change in the stem position occur along the characteristics curve. So basically mathematically we are how we are calling this as equal percentage. So in integration the flow was assumed x equal to 0 at x equal to 0 alpha naught. Mathematically this is necessary because f naught cannot be taken as 0 at x equal to 0, because the term on the left hand side equation become infinite. In practice there may be some leakage, alpha cannot be 0 when the stem is at the lowest position. So generally if you want to keep the leakage 0, we can use double seat valve for valve in such a plug, which the plug and seat have become valve. So that is, if you want to make a particular condition at x equal to 0, alpha equal, f equal to 0, flow equal to 0, then you have to use some double seated valve. To express the range over which the equal percentage valve will follow the equal percentage characteristics, the term rangeability is used. Means we are putting that condition that it will be follow this particular mathematical expression, but this mathematical expression will follow up to a particular range, and that is known as the rangeability of the valve. So how we define the rangeability? That is ratio of the maximum flow to the minimum controllable flow over which the valve characteristics is followed. So rangeability is basically flow maximum and flow minimum. This is controllable. So the terminology we define like this, right? So that is basically, you can say, generally, for example, if f naught equal to 0.02, rangeability will be 50. You can see if we have maximum and this is a minimum. So minimum is 0.02 and maximum is 1, you can say. So 1 upon 0.02, it means the value of rangeability will be 50. So means the 50 is a very high number. So it is not uncommon for a control valve to have a rangeability as high as 50. So in practice, you can say the ideal characteristics, linear and equal percentage valve, are only approximated by the commercial available valves. These discrepancies cause no difficulty because the inherent characteristics are changed considerably when valve is installed in a line having resistance to flow, situation that usually prevail in the practice. So the inherent valve characteristics are used in table in the next section. With the effective valve characteristics will be discussed. So basically we have summarized the result, just like we have different type of valve, and depending upon different type of valve, the sensitivity is defined like this. It is constant, is increasing, is decreasing, and what is the flow with the flow rate with a function of stem position. So that is linear, that is equal percentage, and this is the square root. So we have that kind of relation. So that result, all the results are summarized like this. So we have mathematically this kind of valve characteristics. So now the second terminology, we use the effective valve characteristics. It means up to what range they follow a particular relation. So when a valve is placed in a line that offers resistance to flow, the inherent characteristics of the valve will be altered. So the relationship between the flow and the stem position, valve top pressure, for a wall installed in a process line is called effective wall characteristics. A rule often followed in industrial application of the control wall is that the pressure drop across the wide open wall should be greater than 25% of the pressure drop across the closed wall. So this is an important point. This is basically a design point of view, that if the pressure drop across the wide open wall should be greater than 25% to the pressure drop across the closed wall. So means whatever the open wall, even there is no flow, even though there is a difference in the pressure drop. So pressure drop across the wide open wall should be greater than 25% pressure drop across the closed wall. So that is a design constraints, you can say. You can make this highlight. So a wall not selected according to the rule will lose its effectiveness to control the high flow rates. Just like you can see, Q versus H plot means effect of the line loss on the control wall. So there is no pressure drop in supply line to wall. So if there is no pressure drop, means we can simply say this will follow a very ideal condition. But there is a pressure drop present in the supply line, there will be change in the characteristics. So that is known as the effective wall characteristics. Similarly, these are some difference from practical point of view. Theoretically, it will define like this, but practically we observe at a high flow rate, we have some change from the ideality. So that is known as the effective wall characteristics. Similarly, also we have some control wall hysteresis. Hysteresis means you can say means if we do the reversible path, that is very common terminology, hysteresis. That is also used in a catalyst or some reaction also. It means when you apply a certain action or certain application in a particular system, it behaves in a particular manner. But when you do the reverse of that process or operation, it will ideally it should follow the same path, or it should show the same kind of reverse behavior. But practically it will show different behavior or different path. So that is known as a hysteresis. So you can see in a figure, when we have a signal to the wall, right, and the stem position. So if you change from position A to B, it follows a certain path. And now if you change from B to A, it is following the similar path in a reverse direction. So there is no change in the path, so that's why you can say this is no hysteresis. But let's say if you open from, let's say, B to C, if you change the position from B to C, right, so it is opening like this. That is basically the opening process. It is following B to C, and then you change from C to D, C to B. So it will not directly go from C to B. It will move like C to D, then from D to A, then it will come to B to A. So means it will follow this kind of closed path. So this is known as a hysteresis. The similar things you will also found in terms of the catalyst characteristics hysteresis, right? So there are few points. The operation of a ideal air to open control wall is shown in figure A. Any given air pressure signal to the wall result in a unique stem position X, right? The friction in the packing and the guiding surface of a control wall often cause a control wall to exhibit hysteresis as shown in the figure B. So that is reason is behind for that is basically packing and some guiding surface that will give you this kind of properties, right? So when air pressure increase to the wall top, the stem position increases along the lower curve, right? When the air pressure decreases, the stem position decrease along the upper curve. At the moment the air pressure signal reverse, the stem position stay in the last position until had that band H is exceeded after the pressure begin. It is writing the same what we have described. So if the wall subjected to slow periodic vibrations in a pressure, typical part taken by the stem position is shown by the closed ABCDEA path. So even if let's say uh, this is the actual process when we do the when we apply the opening of the wall and the closing of the wall. But even this phenomenon is also observed when we have a vibrations also in the wall. Vibration means the stamp position is itself moving up and down. Even though we also observe this kind of behavior. So the periodic vibrations in the slow periodic vibrations pressure, a typical path taken by the wall is also observed. You can also observe that same path. Okay, so these are the few points, a few characteristics point that you will see in the lab also. You will discuss all these things. You do the calculations, keeping the wall flow. Uh, so this is important topic. You will use this topic in the lab also. Just keep this thing in your mind. And now let's go for the next topic, that is now you can see this chapter 18.
Yes, sir.
The slides are visible. Chapter 18.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This next plot.
सर अब हट गई.
हट गई. Okay. Okay. Now you can see. Now this is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Chapter 18.
Chapter 18. So this is we are discussing actually now this chapter is taken from the Stephanopoulos. So in Stephanopoulos the things are given in very short way. So this is a different one particular type of analysis, and it is correlated with the Bode diagram. So that is not given in the Koffner. So that's why now I taken the Stephanopoulos to describe this Nakis plot, and this plot is basically, as I told you, is a special type of Bode plot, right? So before going to detail of this Nakis plot, let's I want to remind you about the different type of some control characteristics. These we have not seen in the Koffner. So in even that's why I given the figure name also. This is 14.7. So you can at least take this message, or you can see in the Stephanopoulos book a particular topic. So this is basically a second order system with a proportional controller. So here you can see a graph like this. When you this is a second order system with a proportional controller. So in a proportional controller, as you know that the Kc we always have the offset. So if you increase the Kc value, you will find a oscillations or uncontrolled kind of behavior, but the offset will also decrease, but the oscillations will be high, right? So this is the behavior of second order system. So these figures are not given in the Koffner. That's why I particularly put for you. So you can see the effect of Kc of the second order system. Here you can see the first order system with the integral control. Integral control means that is we have the PI system, PI system, but now the K value is increasing. So when you have the K, let's say K1 will go like this, K2 will be like this, Kc will be like this. So means when you have a PI controller, so whatever, let's say you have taken your tau I constant, now you are varying the Ki, Kc, right? So in PI you have the Kc and P tau I. If you are putting the tau I constant, now you are varying the Kc. So when you vary the Kc, if you increase the Kc value, your oscillation will increase.
सर थोड़ा zoom कर दीजिए.
Okay. ठीक है.
Yes sir, absolutely.
अभी ठीक है. और
सर थोड़ा सा zoom. Yes sir, absolutely.
So you can see the properties of proportional controller on different controller action. When you increase the Kc value, right? When you increase the Kc value, your oscillations will increase, right? Just like in a second order system, we have the proportional controller. So here, as we observe that when you increase the Kc value, your oscillation increases, and increase in oscillations also reduce the offset. So generally we prefer the higher Kc value because the offset is also decreasing. Offset is also decreasing, but more oscillations means we are going towards the instability, more instability, right? Just like if you see the first order system with the integral control only. So integral control only means we are keeping the tau I constant, and now we are varying the Kc value. So keeping the tau I constant, if you vary the Kc value, so you can see as we increase the Kc, Kc1 is the highest. Kc1 is the highest value. As you increase the Kc value, the oscillation increases tremendously. When Kc3, this is almost a very, you can say, the response is almost, you can say, it is zero offset with no oscillation. But this is a sluggish response. So advantage of increasing the Kc is basically first thing, we are increasing the response, or we are decreasing the response time or rise time. We are decreasing the rise time. So, but oscillations are more. Here you can see the effect of reset time on the closed response first order system with the integral control only. So when you increase the tau I3 is the highest value, and you can see when you increasing the tau I value, time constant is increasing. Time constant increasing means we have the sluggish response, right? More time constant means more sluggish, right? So less time and more Kc will preferred. Less time constant, less tau I, and more Kc will preferred, right? So that's why we have to tune. Effect of the gain on the closed loop response of the first order system with PID. So we have the PID, so Kc1 is the highest value, so it is showing the rise time will be less, and oscillation will be also like this. So in PID you can see the oscillations are almost very controlled, and we have, but high Kc value will be give the low response time or low rise time, so you will achieve the response very fast. So these are a few examples of changing the behavior of Kc. Right. So depending upon the Kc value, you can see the behavior of the control system. Now in your body plot in Kaufner, we generally see the type, but here I want to show you some different functions are almost same, but this is very common function that is known as the pure capacitive system. Pure capacitive system, that is basically a special type of you can see a transfer function that is defined as Gs equal to Kp upon S, and this is very important because so many times is asked in the gate. define the pure capacitive system and what is the Bode diagram for the pure capacitive system. So several times this question has been asked. So pure capacitive process, it means the transfer function is given by Kp by S, right? So Kp by S, if you plot the Bode diagram for this, Bode diagram for this means you will substitute S equal to j omega, and corresponding, if you calculate, you will find the transfer function will be Kp upon j omega. You can multiply j omega both numerator and denominator, so you will get 0 times j Kp omega. It means this is a total imaginary function, right? So what is the AR value for this? It will be Kp omega, right? Or you can plot like this also, AR upon Kp, this will be 1 upon omega. So this is a, you can say, omega is decreasing. When you change the omega value, this is a, when you plot AR upon Kp versus omega, so this is a inverse relation. So this is a plot of pure capacitive system, AR upon Kp versus omega, it will be linearly decreased, right? And the shift, it is basically you are taking the log also. Otherwise, it is almost of the property y equal to 1 upon x. So it should be decreased like this, curvilinear form. But this is a log plot, so that's why log of AR versus log of omega, so it will be minus omega, minus log omega. So that's why this is a linear plot with a negative slope. And what about the phase angle? Phase angle will be tan inverse, and this will be, the real part is 0, real part is 0, the y by x, so that's why this is infinite, infinite will be minus 90, so the phase angle will be constant at the phase angle of minus 90, right? So this is a property, or this is a plot of the plot of pure system. Audio okay, now I mute the webinars.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
सर आप गूगल मीटिंग में जाके सर वहाँ पे इसकी क्वालिटी बढ़ा लीजिए सर, वीडियो की थोड़ी।
वीडियो की क्वालिटी बढ़ा ले, ओके?
हाँ सर, उधर से ऑप्शन आता है सर बढ़ाने का।
क्या वीडियो दिख नहीं रहा क्या?
सर ये थोड़ा धुंधला दिख रहा है सर, उस बुक का नहीं है ना, कॉपनर का अच्छा है सर प्रिंट, और इसका
नहीं ठीक है, सही है, वो तो ठीक है, वो पॉइंट सही है। वो धुंधला इसलिए है क्योंकि वो इमेज है, ये कॉपनर में टेक्स्ट मिल जाता है, इसमें ये इमेज है इसलिए धुंधला है।
हाँ सर, उसी की वजह से। हाँ,
तो वो तुम्हें धुंधला दिखेगा, वो चलेगा प्रॉपर्टी, वो मतलब वो स्लाइड की प्रॉपर्टी मतलब प्रॉब्लम है। अभी मैं जो और जूम कर दे रहा हूँ वो थोड़ा
नहीं सर, वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है वहाँ से सर। वहाँ पे आपका जो सेंडिंग वीडियो है ना सर, वहाँ पे ऑप्शन होगा 360 का, आप वहाँ पे 720 कर लीजिए, आराम से देखने लगेगा फिर।
ओके, नई चीज बता रहा हूँ, मैं देखता हूँ कहाँ है ये।
सर गूगल मीटिंग में जाइए पहले।
गूगल मीटिंग में है, हाँ फिर
तो सर हमें स्क्रीन थोड़ी दिख रही है। अब वहाँ पे सेटिंग में जाके सर,
हाँ सेटिंग में चलेगा, चलो बताओ तुम लोग।
वहाँ पे वीडियो करके कुछ आ रहा होगा सर ऑप्शन।
हाँ वीडियो आ रहा है, वीडियो में।
हाँ तो वहाँ सेंड और रिसीव का ऑप्शन होगा सर, सेंड को सर 720 कर दीजिए।
स्टैंडर्ड 360 था, मैंने 720 कर दिया।
हाँ सर, अब साफ दिखेगा।
रिसीव को भी कर देता हूँ, ठीक है?
हाँ ठीक है सर।
चलो ठीक है, देखते हैं, नई नई चीज़ बताते रहो तुम लोग, ठीक है? कुछ पता नहीं, तुम लोग जानो सही है कि नहीं।
ओके सर, हम देख ले रहे हैं।
मैंने वहाँ से कर दिया है, रिजोल्यूशन था 360 का 720 कर दिया, ठीक है?
ठीक है सर।
Okay, so we have that kind of plot of a particular this type of function that is known as the pure capacitive system. Okay, so generally, you know, Kofner these plots are not shown, so that's why I have taken this particular for your knowledge point of view. Okay, so here you can see that this is a minus 90 means there is a phase lag, this will be always behind by the input wave by 90 degree. Okay? And this graph I will tell you, I will describe you later, right? So now the next we have the frequency response of a pure dead time. That already we have done in the Kaufner also, but just for revision, I am just putting before you. That is GS, the pure dead time system is GS is given as e to the power minus tau ds, and if you take the amplitude ratio, that value will be 1, and the phase angle will be minus tau ds. So the graph wise it will be AR equal to 1, so it is constant. So we have this kind of plot, and the phase angle is continuously decreasing. So this is minus tau d omega. So that will be changed like this. So these graphs are not, I think, present in that Kaufner book. So the frequency response for a proportional controller. This is for different feedback controller. If we just take the proportional controller means we have GC equal to KC. So GS equal to KC. So this is a proportional controller. If this is constant means AR value will be also KC, right? And what about the phase angle? Phase angle will be imaginary part divided by the real part. So there is no imaginary part, that is 0. So that's why the phase angle is also 0. So if you take the body plot of the proportional controller, you will get a simple dot like A, where the phase angle is 0 and amplitude ratio is also constant, that is KC, right? So you have that kind of system. ठीक, ये सब ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस हैं, ये गेट में बहुत पूछे गए हैं, इसलिए मैं इसको तुम लोग को इन्फॉर्मेशन में बताना चाहता हूँ. PI controller. For PI controller, you know the GC value is given as, the transfer function is given as KC 1 upon tau is, right? Now if you substitute S equal to J omega, you have the amplitude ratio for that is KC 1 upon 1 plus omega square tau I square, and the phase angle will be minus 1 upon omega tau I. So now you can see when you start with omega equal to 0, omega equal to 0 means this value is infinite. AR infinite, so means it will start from some infinite value, right? And as this is infinite means this is 0, so it will move to some constant value AR upon KC equal to 1, right? So the function will move like this. Similarly, if you talk about the phase angle, when omega equal to 0, this is minus infinite means minus 90, to when it's infinite means 0, 0 means 0, so it will move from minus 90 to 0, right? This plot I will discuss later. Proportional derivative, we have like this kind of graph. So for proportional derivative, you can say that AR value is given as KC under 1 plus omega tau square omega square. So as omega is 0, this value is KC only. As omega is infinite, this value will keep on increasing to infinite. Similarly, tau d omega, so that value omega equal to 0, this is 0, omega equal to infinite, this is 90. And here this is the only graph or only controller that give you the phase lead, because your angle is positive. Angle is positive means this is a phase lead. This is a very important discussion. The proportional derivative give you the phase lead, means output will be always show the positive phase lag. Otherwise, all the functions show the negative phase lag. Now we have some PID. So some for PID is given by the transfer function 1 upon tau is plus tau ds, and the amplitude ratio will be KC. Now you can just put the S equal to J omega, and corresponding that if you solve for, if you change the linear and real and imaginary form, so now it will be given by this. So here you can see that AR value and phi value, phase angle value will be given by this. So as we you can see that omega is 0. Omega is 0 means even though you can say it is almost close to 1. Omega tending to 0 means it is changing to infinite, right? This is infinite. So infinite means the whole function will start from infinite. So it is starting from infinite. Now we have some moderate value, maybe at some particular omega both will be 0. So that we have only with KC only. So that's why this is a KC. and then now at omega tending to infinite, it will go again infinite. Similarly, for the phase angle, you can see with minus infinite to plus infinite, so means it vary from minus 90 to plus 90, right? So these are very easy plot, but at least just get familiar with this kind of Bode plot for a particular system. Now, come to the Nagish plot. Nagish plot is basically, you can say, this is a alternate way to represent the frequency response characteristics of a dynamic system. Basically, we use the imaginary as ordinate and real part as epsilon. So we have the imaginary axis and the real axis. Now you can see the figure, and basically it contains same information as whatever we have in the Bode plot, but in Bode plot there is always a pair of information. One show the amplitude ratio, and the bottom graph or bottom plot show the phase angle. But in the Nagish plot, both information we plotted in a single graph, right, or in a single plot. So Nagish plot contains the same information as a pair of Bode plots for the same system. Therefore, its construction is rather easy given the corresponding Bode plot. Even construction is easy. Let's now construct the Nagish plot of some typical system using their Bode plots developed in the preceding section. So, what is a specific value? A specific value of the frequency omega define a point on this plot. So means the amplitude ratio, that is basically, you can say this will be the distance from the center. The amplitude ratio, once again I am repeating this, amplitude ratio will be the, you can say, center of a particular distance from a center of a particular point. So how much the point is away from the center, that is given by the amplitude ratio, and at what angle, that is given by the phase lag, right? So you can say the distance of a point 1 from the origin 0, 0 is the amplitude ratio at that particular frequency omega 1, right? And that distance is given by the similar way amplitude ratio. As we calculate the amplitude ratio, this is the real part square plus imaginary part square. So this is the amplitude ratio, and the frequency, the phase angle given by the tan inverse imaginary by the real. So method of calculating the amplitude ratio and the phase angle is same, but we are calculating on the same plot, right? So let's say if we have a plot like this, we represent by this the Nagish plot. So what information it contains? So let's say omega equal to 0. Let's say omega equal to 0, your amplitude ratio. Omega equal to 0 means you can say your phase angle is 0, right? So you will start from here, this point. Whatever the amplitude ratio, you will calculate. So that will be the radius, you can say. But here this is not a circle, so I'm not calling this radius, right? This is a curve. The distance from center to this point is amplitude ratio, and whatever the phase angle it contains, let's say omega equal to 0, generally the phase angle is 0, so this is 0. So it will start from here. So from the for the next point, means you have to find out the point on this curve, then you will plot this curve. So let's say for the last omega 2, at omega 2, what is the amplitude ratio and what is the phase angle? So you will get the second point. Just like for example, they denoted this point 1. So this point 1 correspond to the amplitude ratio at omega 1, and the phase angle correspond to this omega 1 is given by this. So we are getting this point. Similarly, at different omega, we will get the different location on the curve. And then when we combine all these things, we will get like this. So it may be like this. We have a different type of nature of the graph. I will show you. So let's say we have a first order system, for example. Then I will plot for the different system. Let's say first order system. First order system means you can say when omega equal to 0, AR equal to 1, and phi equal to 0. Therefore, the beginning of the Nyquist plot is I have not given the expression, but as you know, for the first order system, AR equal to 1, omega equal to 0, phi equal to 0. The beginning of the Nyquist plots will be phi equal to 0. Means at this point you are getting omega equal to 0, AR equal to 1. AR equal to 1 means that is a radius 1 or distance 1. For the reference, this is also an important point. For the reference, we plot a unit circle. Unit circle means that circle of radius 1. Circle having radius 1. So this is just for reference point of view. It is nothing related to the Nyquist plot. But as a reference, we can plot like this. So we start with omega equal to 0. So that will give you AR equal to 1. So we are at this place, at this point. And the phase angle is also 0. So that's why the phi value is 0. So that's why we are here, right? And when you go to omega equal to infinite, it means at infinite the AR equal to 0 and phase angle is minus 90. So minus 90 means we will move like this. Phase angle will go like this. Phase angle will go like this minus. If there is a positive phase angle, we will move like this. You know, the clockwise, anti-clockwise phase angle. So at omega equal to infinite, the AR value is 0. So that's why we are at this point. And phase is minus 90. So means minus 90 means at this position. So we are at this position, right? We are at this position. At this position, this is minus 90. So means the position wise we are on this scale, right? Phase angle is minus 90 means we are at this on this line. But what is the amplitude ratio? This is 0. So that's why we have a point on the center itself. So means we started, our beginning point started from here. In between also you can find out the point at different omega value. Changing from 0 to 1, and phi will also change from 0 to minus infinite. Nyquist plot will be inside the circle and will never leave the first coordinate. So means for all the point, we are just shown you for the two extreme case from omega equal to 0 to omega equal to infinite. But if you look for some intermediate also, you will get all the points in between. So it complete the shape and location are shown in the figure this, right? Now, I think the time is over. How much time? Okay. Chalo, then I will discuss all this thing in the next class, maybe tomorrow. Okay, I think we should stop at this point. So,
Okay, sir.
नेक्स्ट टाइम पे हम लोग और आगे बात करेंगे. There is a whole Nyquist